Hello, this is the Service Hero Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. Today is July the 26th, and we are going to be telling another inspiring story of someone inspiring many others. So let's do this. And today we have actually a dear friend of mine. I'm so excited to have her with us. Krystylle, how do you say it? Is it Crystal? Crystal. It's Crystal, but it's spelled very different. Krystylle Richardson. Krystylle Richardson is someone that's like, I'm like, how many things are you doing these days? And she is always doing so much. I met her at one of the very first, actually the very first summit I ever went to.
Right.
And I'll never forget it. There she was. She was a presenter and speaker and doing all this amazing stuff, and then doing these head dresses and so absolutely inspiring. Then on top of it, she had to leave because she had to go serve and serve all these people that she is. Well, she's got a philanthropic organization amongst, well, how a few of them that she's involved in, and she's helping business people get their businesses up and going and so much more. She's all about helping with mindset and then being able to find that best person inside of you to just take it out there and make a difference. You are amazing, and I just absolutely look at that smile. Welcome.
Thank you so much. You are just so beautiful, and so we were twins that day because that was my very first summit that I went to, and being honored there, and that started this all out for both of us.
Isn't that amazing? And now to think how far, where it has taken us, because in truth, when I went to support Sherry Watson, who was winning an award there, and I, with a nonprofit, not really even knowing what it was that I was going and doing. It just was close enough for me to drive, and I thought, sure, I'll go and I'll support you. And from that point on, it was like I was hooked with the idea of being able to get a message out there in such a big way with such heart-driven, purpose, focused individuals like yourself. And from that day on, it's just been quite a journey. I want to say hello to Shannon Hughes. Shannon, it's so great to have you here with us. How fun. And Helene Wilson, one of my buddies from our nonprofit, one of my particular buddies, and she is also the ambassador of the chat. And we have, as she's welcoming you, we have Amanda. Amanda, glad that you're here with us. We'll have so many more showing up. So let's talk about this. You are doing so much, and I'm like, okay. As I knew that you would be up to so many things, and I was just so curious because of how we've had to kind of shift and turn and change, yet still serve those that we're serving. It just looks a little different. And you are in the Arizona area, correct?
Right, I am.
And you have a community that is actually a geographic community that you serve on top of so many other things. Ariel, so glad you're here with us. You guys are going to love Krystylle. Let me just tell you, Skip Thomas, so glad you're here with us. So you have a ministry that you are a part of, and and that's not even really, that's like your not a hobby, but that's not in a lot of the other like businesses. The Krystylle Richardson brand, you have a brand that you are out helping. Well, I keep hearing, oh yeah, Krystylle's helping me with this, oh yeah, Krystylle's helping me with this, from so many people. Like, she's changed so many things for me, and she's helping me up, and now I'm focused this way, and it's working. So let's like look at the umbrella and go from there, because it's there's so much.
Okay.
And on top of it, you're a performer and host radio show.
Okay. Let me rescue you. How about that?
Please do, because I mean, I just want to keep going down all these different roads, and I'm thinking, you are doing
well, you know
it
what,
all.
Tamara. Thank you for having me on. And you and I, we've been together now for a few years. It's been since that very first summit, and all throughout that time, and even in that one, I got up on that stage and I had a big flag, and I said, I will wave the flag for those who cannot. And it had to also do with being the voice for those who did not have a voice. And I was talking to a gentleman over in Nigeria just this morning about being the ambassador for the people who do not have a voice. And so Full Color Movement International, which is fullcolormovement.com is the website for that, is our nonprofit. And that is what we do here in the community, as well as in missions overseas. And so with that, and even what I'll get into some of the things I do from the business side, all of it, Tamara, is related to one thing. People see me doing different aspects of one thing. Okay. And that one thing is to help people to be the best versions of themselves, and to give back so that someone else can then give back. Because guess what? A hand up is better than just a hand out. So all of this is all related to helping people to be better versions of themselves, and just really enjoying the ride in the meantime. And what we do on First Saturdays, you alluded to, related to feeding the homeless. We have had to shift and pivot all those words that people have stated, because, we normally would go and if a restaurant did not do a donation for that month, of which we did not request every month, because this is part of my heart, to cook for 200 to 300 people every first Saturday. And so this would be a full, 3, 4, 5 course meal plus homemade dessert, where we would have all of these different things. We would get donations for the drinks and for the plates and cups and stuff. But it was my heart to be able to get up at 4:30 in the morning and start cooking for the homeless in our area. And we would go in a gym, and we would have the food for them, clothing and resources, and talk about jobs or give bus passes if they needed. I would run around them and bow to them and sing happy birthday and celebrate their birthdays. And like, who gets that? People who are not homeless sometimes don't get that, but having where that was their special day every first Saturday, whoever had a birthday during that month. And I actually celebrated my birthday with them. It was the first Saturday in September. Voice America came out. They were one of the sponsors, and we had a number of other sponsors, Carrie Conley and Colleen Biggs and her organization. Other people came out and celebrated with us for my birthday. So we had a huge celebration, and it just did my heart good. I think I made that particular day my favorite dessert. I think I might have made 12 peach cobblers that day.
Oh, that celebrate. Makes sense. Why I wondered about the jars of peaches that were in your photo. And I'm thinking, okay, there's a peach story, but I'm not quite seeing it. So, okay, so that's Lori Richards. I'm so glad you're here with us. So glad. So peach cobbler. Ooh, that sounds good. You're making me hungry.
Yeah. We were excited. I was excited to have that for my birthday. So it was just, my house smelled so wonderful that day.
I can only imagine. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Even with that, throughout the month, we do help families in need. We have a little community center, so we have food boxes and other resources there that people come by as our ambassadors and get that to take it out to share in the communities. Mm-hmm. And then we also do foreign missions. And so we were supposed to be in Ghana for October again, because I've been to Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana several times. So I'll say that again. Kenya, Jamaica, Barbados, Bahamas. We've done missions all over the place. But in March, when we were doing our final planning, we were about to have that next week. We were going to purchase the tickets. That's when everything happened with COVID, and we had to put a stop to that to just postpone it for now. So we serve all over the world, and that is what we do as part of our nonprofit. The other part that you mentioned from the business side, yes, I do a lot of behind the scenes with people.
You do?
A lot of with people and their businesses, because it's not about boasting or getting out there related to what they're doing. It's their business. It's their baby. It's their initiatives. And so I do whatever I can do to help people, whether it's one-on-one counseling and coaching, or if it's C-suite people, or if it's new entrepreneurs, whoever it might be. There's various kinds of things that I do with that program, and that is under buildthatbiz.com. buildthatbiz.com. And so you can go on there and we can have a quick biz review. We can do a biz workup, and we can put together a specific program just for you on the things that you need. Because I've been doing business, I have in one of my books, since I was a kid. I was a kidpreneur back in the late 60s. My brother and I, we had all kinds of jobs. 60s and 70s. And so since then, I've worked in a number of different companies here and globally, and have a lot of knowledge related to just operational excellence, business in general, marketing plans, engineering, genetic research, all inventions, all different kinds of things. So depending on what it is that you're working on, I most likely have some skills that I can use to help you, or I have people in my network. Because it's not all about me, it's a group of people that assist. But to get you jump started, then that's part of what I do. So there's a lot there, but still, it's all related to one thing: helping people to be the best version of themselves.
Thank you, Andrea. Buildthatbiz.com, and that's correct, right? The way that she's got it there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. And
let's see, build that. That's it.
Okay, awesome. And yes, there we go. Buildthatbiz.com. So, so that's the nonprofit. That's the business piece of which you're so drilled in. And the thing that everybody that I know, that we know, and then I'm like, oh, so what's up? I'm noticing something. Oh yeah, Chris came over and tweaked this, did that, shifted this, and now I'm doing that. And I saw people are seeing complete differences in that, just a little change here and there. The thing about you, when I think about you in my picture brain, I think, okay, here's this corporate woman that is completely like outside of the box. You can't put Krystylle in a box at all, because it's not going to work. That's just not going to work. And because also you've got another thing going on, and that's your own thing that's going on, because you're helping people to to raise themselves up, raise it up as a coach, as you're an author, you're also out on red carpets. And so let's go into that, what it is that you're doing with mindset and emotions, and helping those. Well, I don't even want to go into what you did yesterday yet. I want to go into the KrystylleRichardson.com brand. What it is that you're doing there, because there's a lot of different aspects to that too, right?
Yeah, there is. And so a part of what I do, the helping everyone to be the best version of themselves, is my signature program is Jumping into Your Greatness. Tamara, go ahead and do that. Let's do your hands like this. Jumping into Your Greatness. There you go.
Okay. And that feels good. It does. It's got an energy to it. I love it.
I can't run around the room, and I can't help people to actually physically jump. We can do it on screen. You can do it even if we're just on a phone call. And there's a 3-part program that I have for this. And it is where we go through an evaluation process of all of the different things that you have as far as your faith and your focus. So faith and focus are key as part of your evaluation. And then we go to the next step, which is eviction. Evicting those fears and those fibs, you know, that self-talk that we have. There's a whole process related to eviction. And then the next part is elevation. We elevate you by putting together your own unique freedom formula. Your own unique freedom formula. And all of that is undergirded with the execution. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. And so what I do and what you've heard me do with other people is take them through either a mini portion of that or a longer portion of that, depending on what they had going on related to all of those F's. And we make sure that it's specifically outlined for their business or their personal life or whatever it is, because we all have various segments of our life. We're not all one dimensional. I just so happen to operate in a lot of my dimensions that other people do not. You know, a lot of us, and statistics and studies have shown that we all are living just a fraction of our life.
It's true.
We are all living just a fraction of what we're capable of. God has created us as unique human beings for a reason, because we were put here to have an impact. And then we were here also, we're put here to impact someone else so that they can go and have an impact as well. And so sometimes, you know, with a lot of the different things that I do nowadays, people are talking about, well, how many numbers for this or how many for that? And even like the summit yesterday, I think it's up to like, you know, 1,700 or 1,500 or whatever people of views, of which we'll have, you know, more after we put it on some other channels and stuff. But even if it was just one, Tamara, even if it was just one person who wrote a note that said that they got something that they needed, then I'm fine. I'm fine. And I know in this business and what I do with Red Carpet Empress and like a lot of the other parts that you also know, people are focused on numbers, Facebook, Instagram, and what is your reach? Well, I'm here to say that yes, that helps and that's important for a lot of different things that happen, but I'm all about the one. Right. The power of one. And the gentleman this morning, he has a song, you know, One Love, One World, and it's all about the power of one. And the summit that you have that we did yesterday, every speaker, whenever we have those every other month, I talk to them about the power of one. And I have a picture that I show them, because yes, you may have a 5-step program, a 10, 300, you have 365 days, but in that 15 minutes, when you're doing your power packed nugget, you don't have time to go into all of those. So we want people to focus on one thing. And that one thing from all of these people can be something that transforms someone's life. So I'm all about the togetherness and the relationship factor of being thankful, first of all, that I've been able to do all of this over the last 2.5 years, to meet all of these fabulous, fabulous people of influence and that have influenced me. I mean, everybody is not a millionaire and a billionaire. A lot of them are, but a lot of them are just everyday people who have had an impact on my life and other people's life that I know that they could help someone else. So I have these global summits. That was the picture that you showed. I have a global summit every other month. We had the women's summit in May. And then we had, and there's, Andrea Miller. She was awesome. She was awesome. And we had the women in May. We just had the one, July was for the men. And I tell you, these 22 men, they went for it. They went for it. I mean, we have the creator of Pictionary. We have the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. We have the person who created LifeLock and did an exit for $2.1 billion. We have a minister who has a men's group that he empowers men, on a daily and weekly basis. We had Greg Reed. We had all these fabulous, fabulous people who gave their time to pour into men. And when I tell you, even listening to it from a female's perspective, it was great. It was great. And some of the women did comment. They have sons and they want to have information for their sons, or they had their son listen, or they're going to have their son listen, because guess what? It all goes back, Tamara, to that one thing, helping people to be better versions of themselves. So yes, sometimes there's money involved, monetization, and sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's, people just out there trying to be good people, and anything that I can do based on all that God has given me, that's what I try to do.
And you do. And, and I know that whenever I've been anywhere with you, which we've been quite a few places. And in fact, I found a few pictures. I actually was looking, and then I found a blast from the past. I actually found when we did a live together, and I pulled it in. But there's one of the two of the times,
Aww.
2 different times, and those were after we had met each other.
Yeah.
Me trying to do a self.
When I think was in California, we were at some women event. Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. I think it was right after the city summit, one of the city summit things, and Allison had put it on, and then there's another one there, and then we got Don McGrath and some of the others. I mean, it was just fun stuff, and the thing that I have to go here. I have to just show it, and we won't get it going for too long. But I just have to share this.
Oh. Hello, it's Tamara Hunter.
Hello, Tamara Hunter. And today we got a little bit of a drag going on there, but it's like, okay, that was a couple of years ago, and at that time I think you had a book that just came out. You're always having so many different things. I mean, how many books do you have now?
Well, some of them are on Amazon and some are not. Excuse me. So by the end of this year, beginning of next year, I plan to put on Amazon the ones that I've written that I use in conferences and use in missions that are not on, so people can get to them. But I think I'm up to about 7 or 8 now. I believe I'm losing count because I'm actually working on one to launch for next month for the Best You. I'm a speaker at the Best You conference expo as well. So looking forward to that. That's on August 1st. I'll be speaking, and then I'll be on a panel on the 2nd. I'll be doing a mindfulness session on the 3rd, and then I'll speak again on the 5th. And the main all revolves around jumping into your greatness. And I love that title, and I love the things I get to talk about in that, because everyone needs that boost to get started.
Yep. Oh, I agree. And we've got Carol. Carol's here, one of our senior ambassadors. We've got Teresa Schneider here with us. Love you, Teresa. So grateful that you're here with us. And we've got they're all talking with each other and listening to you, and I love it when that's happening, because it's very collective, very collaborative, and we need to have that kind of association. And that's one of the things that I noticed when I met you that very first time, because you had like this whole group of people that were there with you, and I was like, I want to join that crew. I want to be a part of that group, because it's just that love and energy and fun, and okay, sit down, let's do this, let's do that, let's play here, let's do that, and that kind of energy is contagious. It's like that, just like what you did, that jump in, right? Yeah, jump in. And that's what you bring. That's what you bring to everything you do.
Well, thank you. And that really means a lot, because, a lot of times you do things over and over and over again, and that you have a purpose, that you were put here to bring something specific to the world. And is anyone even noticing? And so you don't do it for people to notice necessarily, but it does help, and it just warms my heart that you even thought about having me on this show again. You had done, like you said, that spotlight before, so I really appreciate it. And a number of those people that you saw, we had our Christmas banquet to honor volunteers this past Christmas, and we had maybe 20 or 30 people or more at my center of the specific people who have assignments across our nonprofit and even across some of what we do from a profit perspective. And I had each one, I was only going to have like 3 or 4 people. Yes, that was some of them. I was only going to have 3 or 4 people come up to speak, But when people started speaking about, how long they had been with the organization for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, going on the 20 years or so that we've been here in the Valley, and what they've done with us, and that they've just stuck with us to be the difference in the world. It was just amazing. And so I'm like, the next person wanted to get up and get up. So then we ended up having the whole room say something. And I hadn't realized that, a lot of the people that are with me, they've still been with me for a very, very long time. Very long time.
Well, that says something about leadership. And that's another thing that you do actually help people with, is to be able to find what it is that help them with that leadership, to help them to be that better, to be their best leader, to bring it out from them. Right. And I have to go here because you're inspiring in another area too. And that is, you have like the greatest thing going on, in that you're happy. You're always happy. And you're married to, now you guys have a ministry together, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. So we've been married for 28 years. So March 28th was 28 years. And he reminded me of that, because I think on my show the previous year, I was saying the wrong number of years. But when you go for so long, you kind of get things mixed up. But since it was March 28th, now I can actually definitively say we've been married for that long. But we have, where we help couples, we help singles. We have that part of our ministry where we try to counsel people who are maybe thinking about getting married, or even ones who have been married for a while that might be contemplating divorce. And we also had where we do counseling with youth, and there's a whole host of things related to that. And so he considers himself like the background person. He doesn't really like to be out front, but he's an amazing speaker as well. He's done like commencement ceremonies and stuff like that. And he's amazing. He's amazing. And so we'll be trying to egg him on to do more from that perspective. But I just really appreciate the fact that, we are able to do things together, and he's such a great support. And if he wants to go like this morning and play golf or whatever he wants to do, then, we have a relationship like that is a good match.
And I had to bring that up, because that goes into what you're doing with the whole the series that you have going on. You talked about the women's group, the men that were yesterday, and that a lot of the women that have sons, or possibly even their brothers or their significant others, that they may want to listen to what it is, these nuggets that were shared. You're going to be going into next. You have it designed to help couples and others. Why don't we go into what that's going to look like?
Okay, great. Yeah, so it's the Global Mindset Summit series, Global Mindset Summit. So we do have some things posted. We are a little behind on getting things reposted, because there's so much information that goes along with creating these. And like I said, the one was yesterday for men. We're doing the drawing today, where the people that were on, some of them female, as well as mainly all of the men that interacted by giving comments. We're up to like 300 or so comments. The women, they came with it. They had like about almost 1,000 comments after the day of the summit. Like, they're just, going for it, because you get your name put in for the drawing to receive books.
Fun. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you receive books, you receive coaching, you receive one-on-ones, you can even receive a business valuation. If you are to that point where you might think about exiting, of which you should always have your business in that state, all of your records together and all of that. So we had so many great prizes that we were able to give out. And guess what? The more you comment, the more your name is in. And yes, you can win more than once, and you deserve it because you've done so much interaction. And so again, because we're not in person doesn't mean that we can't have the interaction. And so I'm all about that. And I'm real competitive. So we had that part going on too with the men. You need to listen to the beginning because I did a would you rather. And so some of them had some really crazy comments and then they started going back and forth. The men, they were pretty funny. And the women too, we had a great time. The next one is in the next 2 months. We do the Global Mindset Summit every 2 months. The next one is related to relationships. We already have some phenomenal people that will be on, that will be the ones that already have like a coaching or a training online program for relationships. And then we have some people who have been there and that are still there, like our dear friend, Ron Klein and Arlene. You know, they've been married for 1,000,000 years. I think he said 61 years. 61 years we've been married. And he's 85 and she looks like a spring chicken, you know, and they're doing it and they love each other. And he always has comments and adoration for her on Facebook and so does she towards him. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a number of people that are in relationships, as well as we're going to talk about divorce. We're going to talk about mixed families. We're going to talk about singles. We're going to talk about a number of things in the relationship summit. And I've had one, I think it was a year ago, we had a relationship summit that was not online, it was in person. And there's so many different aspects of relationships that everyone should tune into this. Everyone should. And so I'll be posting more information related to that. That will be September. And then November, I am partnering with the gentleman that I told you in Nigeria, who is actually an official on a global youth consulate, that we will have all youth speakers for November, all youth speakers. Oh. And so this is going to be phenomenal. And you can be any age, like if you can speak really well and come with it at 6, you can be on. But we were saying like from age 10 to 18 will be the ages for that summit. And so the next one after that will be leadership in January 2021. So it's every other month. And we're getting more and more exposure. We're starting to talk about sponsorships and a number of other packages and masterminds that we'll be putting together related to this, because the information is phenomenal. These people are giving, this is a free summit. It's a free summit at this point. It's a free summit. And you get so much information. A few of the people that I see on here were some of the people that attended. And it's just great. It's just great to be able to give back and bring people together that can help people all across the world.
Well, Lori is actually going to be on this next week on the Service Hero Show. I'm so excited to bring her on. She like you, what I am doing is some of the service heroes that had like in person, quick between this and that, you know, and then we got to get back, you know. So we're honoring yet really can't tell the story. It's time to really have that opportunity and then check in and see where everybody is. And Lori is one of them. She'll be on this next week, and I'm excited about that, doing amazing things, touching lives. And so this is, you know, you could not be picking a better time to be bringing this out every other month. And you were already involved in creating these summits as it was. And when you have to just slightly change it up a bit, you're still working with the people that, and you had, you know, the focus already. And so you were,
yes and no.
Yes and no? Okay, so let's talk about that.
No. Yes and no. COVID, if some people don't realize the fact that, maybe they realize it after, but some people don't realize the fact that the day that Kobe Bryant's death was in the USA Today, right next to his picture was an article in January about COVID, about the coronavirus in January in the USA Today. And I surely didn't see it until after. I'm like, oh my gosh, honey, did you see that? Like, it was right there. So they were already talking about it in January. February came, and then March came, the beginning of March, when we were supposed to have a number of things I was supposed to be on. One stage was supposed to be at the event, about 45,000 to 50,000 people at it was a HIMSS conference, a medical conference, where I was going to be talking about the medical mission, the telemedicine mission I did in Ghana. And our breakout had been moved up and moved up and moved up to be one of the featured breakouts. So we were probably going to have either 1 or 2 or 3,000 people in our session.
Right.
And it was going to broadcast in several hospitals and universities in Africa. Like, they kept adding on different things because people were so interested in that session. That was supposed to be in March. Everything got canceled. All of the other events got canceled too. And I asked God, I'm like, what can I do? Just like you and everyone else, you tend to find out some things about yourself when tragedy comes. Yeah. Whether it comes directly to your life or whether it comes to those around you. So April came, March was here. I was distraught, and April came, I was distraught, and I was like, God, what can I do? What can I do? In April, he gave me the thought of doing a mindset summit. I had no clue that May was Mental Health Awareness Month at that point, but he had already given that to me, and it lined up that we were launching that and doing that in May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it was not that I already had the ball rolling on that. I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I contacted the women. I said I wanted to do women first. Every single woman that I asked, aside from a few that had just a couple things going on, it was a spectacular lineup. They said yes. They said yes. And Andrea Adams Miller, she was one of the ones that was on there. Yeah. And it took off. And then the men, all of these influential men, they said yes. And now I already have people approaching me related to the Relationship Summit and the Youth Summit and the Leadership Summit. So and then I had in between there a solidarity narrative because of all of the racial unrest that was going on. Mm-hmm. We had current police officers, one young man, he's only like 20 something. He looks like he's about 12. He's a police officer. Just so thankful for him. He just got out of the academy. And a number of other people of all different races, creeds, and colors from across various nations, not just the United States. And we were able to talk about the racial unrest and what we can do to be the solution. It's not in all of these are not just having summits for the purpose of having a summit. It's what can we actually do? I'm an action person. Anyone who knows me, I'm an action person. Yeah. You leave out something with me, we're going to have some things that we need to do. We really are.
Right. Absolutely. And that's well, and it's obvious because you do so much, and it's like, okay, I know we need to touch this, we need to touch this, we need to touch this. And that's the thing about you, Krystylle, is that you have these programs, you've got it figured out, you're helping others to do it, you're touching it, you're going on to the next thing, and then you do the next thing. And then on top of it, I'll never forget, I'm like, how do you have time to like look so beautiful always and put your stuff together and everything? And you start educating me like, oh yeah, this is what I do and this is how I do it. I'm like, oh my goodness, what could you not be? I mean, you know, so I don't want to like blow the answer there, but you know, it's like what answer? You were telling me that you find such amazing deals and that you go to places and then you know how to put it all together. Like I'm looking at this outfit even. Okay, so I'm looking at your outfit. I'm looking at the way you put yourself together. I mean, this woman, she shows up and you notice her. You notice her, of course, because of her energy and her smile and just everything. But also, I mean, look at this. Fun.
You have my jaws hurting. You are so hilarious right now. You're like, I don't want to blow the answer. I'm like, what answer? What's the question? But yeah, so the one with Miss Renee, she is just such a kind person, finding your voice. So that is my logo, the Red Carpet Empress, because I have a radio show, Soaring with Eagles, where we interview people for the millionaire, billionaire mindset. And we have where we give what they've done that is transformational, what they've done that's controversial. Sometimes we get into some things that might even be a little bit, illegal that they may have done back in the past. And it's just it's such a really great show. Not just because it's my show, but I really love it. And so we do that. And part of what I do in relation to that is then go out and do red carpet interviews. And so I was very, very honored to be in Hollywood and in Phoenix doing red carpet interviews for The Wish Man with Frank Shankowitz, because he met me, Tamara, at that very first summit that we had. And then I saw him again, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's just so personable. And I start telling him about the show potential, and he's like, "Well, how about I start the show off for you?" I'm like, "Well, how about it, Frank? That'd be great." So he was my first guest. He is the founder of
that. I remember.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation was my very first guest a couple 2.5 years ago. And then I was able to do the red carpet interviews for him for the Wishman premiere. And it was so phenomenal. But what I was talking about was what you were saying. If you go back to that one picture about when I did the red carpet in Hollywood at the City Summit, City Gala, you're saying you didn't want to blow the answer there. So yeah, the one with the red. So yeah, we were talking about outfits, and we were talking about, how we match colors and do all of that. And yes, even the blouse and the jacket and that dress are all ones that I've gotten from resale shops, secondhand, and things of that nature.
That's it. Because I was like, I'll never forget when you were telling me this. And I'm like, okay, can I go shopping with you one time? And you actually said, yes, I'll go sometime.
This is actually something new. My husband was like, what are these packages coming to the door? Because he's not used to me buying new stuff. But you can find something that is your exact personality. I tend to have a unique personality and unique style for who I am and for what I do. And so that jacket has had where people say, oh yeah, you were the one in that black jacket. This one guy, he's a multimillionaire guy that I mentioned, and I said, hey, how you doing? He gave me his number to call him to be on the show. And from my name, he didn't really remember who I was until I mentioned something about what I was doing, the red carpet interviews. He's like, wait a minute. You were the one in that black jacket, right? I was like, yes, I was the one in the shiny black jacket, the Matrix jacket. That's my favorite. And in that dress, I had to alter it. I do sew. I make some of my own clothes, a lot of my own clothes too. And so for that, I was able to alter it to wear for that day. And so you just do you. And a lot of the things that are out there nowadays are not necessarily me for like new stuff. There's some new things out there that are really cute, but I'm more of a vintage kind of a person and a unique kind of person. So I can only find those things in resale, secondhand, vintage, even Goodwill, actually. In some neighborhoods, you can find some really good stuff. So this one guy, I was working at a company in Scottsdale, and I had a great office facing the mountains. And so it was really great light just coming in from the sun. And he would always come to my office, he's the CEO, and turn on my light. I'm like, please turn my light off. He's like, well, I pay my bill here. You could turn on the light. And I was like, I just don't really use, secondhand light, that much. I prefer the light from outdoors. And then he would always compliment me. I can't even say it. Compliment me on my outfits. Always, like every day. So one day, where do you shop? And I had on some really interesting shoes that were from India. And I have some from when I went to India, but these ones came from a resale shop. And he said, oh, I got those from a resale shop. He's like, we pay you good money here. You can buy new clothes. And I'm like, well, I know I can buy new clothes, but you have not had a day that you have not complimented my outfit.
Right.
Not complimented my outfit. This is the kind of clothes that I wear. This is what I wear.
Well, that's I had to bring it up because you are unique in that.
I just want to tell one little story because my husband, he knows, what I like too. And so we were in Lake Tahoe one time, and he always, whatever I'm doing, whether it's business, and he stays behind at the hotel till I'm done, and then we get together. Sometimes he'll have a list of resale shops for me so that when we get done, we can go eating and we can go resale shop hopping. This one particular one, oh my gosh, I hit a gold mine. They had all these clothes there was some beautiful material from Africa, from India, and some that were like American type. But we had to buy a $20 big blue plastic suitcase to put everything in, because when I tell you I hit a gold mine there, Tamara, oh my gosh, so many awesome outfits, which were some of the ones that my boss at that time had complimented me on. And then he's like, well, you get paid enough money, you're a six-figure kind of a person, you can buy new clothes. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can, but I choose not to.
Right. The choice. And then, and then I want to show also the, this side of you, because you're also a dancer, a choreographer. You have so many different aspects that, you know, it's like, how do you pick and choose what it is that I'm going to, you know, share about your amazing personality? And then I love it that you have others there dancing with you. And, you know, I can only imagine how much, I mean, that just looks like fun. I want to dance with you like that. That looks like fun.
Well, you can actually start dancing with me in the early mornings if you want to, because I'll be launching my online Afrelay exercise dance, walk, live program. So you actually can start. So don't open your mouth and say that if you don't really want to. Because
hey, you know, I'm already going live at 5:15 in the morning Pacific here, and walking and talking and everything, and so I'm up and going. So hey, yeah, you know, I'm up.
But yeah, some people go to the gym. Oh, that's me and Orville Redenbacher when he was alive.
I had to show that one too, because I had that ready to go.
We're really serious about this, really pulling up all my pictures.
Well, you know, we're telling a story. That's why you didn't get this when we were live. And this is what this show does, is we tell a story, because you know, you start from somewhere, and then you're going forward, and here you are. Obviously, is it like a race or some kind of a sport?
Yeah. So I'll just touch on the dance real quick, then I'll talk about Orville Redenbacher and myself. But yeah. So some people go to the gym, and I do every now and then go, but I get my exercise by dancing. And being the fact that I'm the actual choreographer, I dance a lot of times every single day. And when we're teaching a particular piece, it could be that we have rehearsal on Mondays for the group, Wednesdays for the people who are soloists, and then maybe a West Side rehearsal in the morning on Saturday, and then an East Side on Saturday in the afternoon. So sometimes I'm dancing almost every single day. And when you're the person that's the choreographer, of which I don't see any of the parade pictures necessarily, but even for the parades, we have to dance for like 2.5 miles in the Fiesta Bowl parade. We're not just walking and waiting. We are dancing hardcore, like African type dance for the complete 2.5 miles. And so when you do that, you tend to get your exercise in a little bit. And plus, you know, we're praising God from this particular perspective. This is one of my dance groups, Spirit and Truth Mime. And those, we have some on YouTube. The one, I think it's up to 25,000 or something views or whatever. We have a number of different things that are on YouTube too. But that's how I get my exercise. That's how I praise God, is through dance. And so I really, really love that. But you're so funny bringing up that Orville picture, because that was back in the 90s when he was still alive. And he is from the area of Valparaiso, Indiana. And so we were living in Valparaiso at the time, and they would have a popcorn festival. So, you know, there's the Rose Bowl parade and all these different things where the floats are actually made out of roses and stuff.
Right.
This is popcorn festival because of Orville, and everything was made out of popcorn.
Yeah,
so there would
it. Yeah.
So there's a race, there's a 5K, so 3.2 miles. And at the end, he stands there at the end, you know, he would stand there at the end and shake everyone's hand. Well, my husband is in way better shape than I am. So he ran the race and came back to run with me, you know, towards the end of the pack. I was like making it over 3.5 miles. But you see, I'm just grinning ear to ear because there was Orville. And then my husband comes up, you know, behind me, and he says, was your husband running after you, or were you running after him? I'm like, well, Orville, of course he was running after me. And he starts laughing, and I shook his hand, and it felt like the Pillsbury Doughboy. It was just so soft and squishy, and it was just such a nice moment. I'm like, can I take a picture with you? He's like, oh, of course. And so that's my little Orville story. He was such a nice, kind man.
You know, and you can tell. I mean, there was just something that just spoke to me, and I said, "Oh, I have to catch this one," because you feel it. You just feel that feeling right there, and those moments in our lives right now, especially right now, you know. And I'm dating the shows on purpose, because right now, the here and now, where we are in July of 2020, we need to be thinking about these moments, these, you know, the kindness of someone that would stand there because they're putting popcorn on floats, and it's in honor of what it is that he created, and he's standing there as each one of the people come in, that and in his suit, and generously just giving of his nature. And more people right now, we need to be connecting like that. We can do that. We can do that. And that's what's so wonderful about having these platforms and having more and more people saying, okay, yeah, this is what even the story of I in March, this is how I was feeling. In April, this is how I was feeling. And then, asking, how can I make that difference? And getting the answer of how you are actually making a difference. And we need more and more and more people saying, okay, yeah, I'm ready to get out there, and I can help with this, and I can help with that, right?
Yeah. And the one thing I want to say about that, a lot of people see the things that I do and then they wonder, and you haven't asked it yet, but a lot of people ask, I get it every week. When do you sleep? Like, when do you sleep? I do sleep. I do actually sleep, from time to time. But the thing is that the things that people see is, just me just trying to live my life and to live it with excellence. And sometimes things come out exactly the way I wanted them to. And sometimes it doesn't. But guess what? I'm going to go and get up again tomorrow. I'm going to do my prayer, my affirmations, my gratitude. My husband and I, we're going to have our scripture, and then I'm going to try it again. And sometimes people say, don't put can't and try in your vocabulary. But I actually say that it's okay, because I can't allow people to put me in a box.
Right.
I cannot.
Right. No.
In that perspective, can't is okay. And I can try to do my best the next day. It really is a try, because I have a thyroid condition. I have a few other medical things. I have the story that I put on that one dance that's actually on my page from last Sunday, that I've had 30 some times I know of that I almost died. That I was in a situation, either health wise or almost car accidents in other countries as well as here, turning into oncoming traffic while I was asleep, with my sleep issues that I've had, sleeping and driving, and having my kidney taken out because of a tumor. I went into the emergency room for one thing on my right side, and they told me that there was a tumor on my left side. That was only God that made me go in for the pain that I had on a different side. Yes, I had something wrong over there, but it wasn't the tumor. They said, you need to get this out. You need to show up to the hospital tomorrow for us to take that out. So when you have things like that, and even when I was sick about 3 weeks ago, I thought I had COVID. I must have had just the regular flu. But it was bad. It was bad. I have 3 negative results now. Some people talk about the test results, and some of them are only 60% accurate. And I work in the medical device genetic research industry as well, another thing that I do. But so I know the specifics about it. But the thing is, when things like that happen to you, you don't know whether you're going to die or live, or if you're going to have to go to the hospital. Is it COVID? Some people don't survive that. Some people don't even survive the regular flu. You have an urgency about your life. And you have a praise in your heart, like I did. So that thing that I posted last week, I didn't know like 100, 200, 300, up to 1,000, over 1,000. Some people were going to view it and like it and all these comments and stuff. It wasn't for that. It was just to say, God, I am so thankful. I am so thankful. They told me I was 98.5% chance cancerous with my kidney. The tumor that was on my kidney was 98.5% chance cancerous. All of the different people were coming in that day, giving me the consult as if I was already cancerous, talking about the wigs that I was going to be able to have, talking about the Arbonne for life, for skincare and all this other stuff. And God told me after I came out and they took it out and tested it, that I was in the 1.5. I was in the 1.5. It was not cancerous. So they took it out, but thank God, it wasn't. And we all have all different stories that we have. You have your story. I have my story of the different things that we've made it through. And if we can share with people to let them know that you can make it. You can have different things that happen, but you can make it. Mm-hmm. Even with the bullying, I'm doing a bullying book, and I would love anyone else who has been bullied, who has been has had child abuse done to them, domestic violence, verbal abuse, all of that is considered forms of bullying. We need authors for that book. So by next month, If you are interested, you can contact me, Krystylle Richardson, on Facebook, or you can email me at g3qara@gmail.com. I'll say that again, g3qara@gmail.com. We would love to have you in the One Habit book series about bullying, because a number of people didn't even know I had been bullied. But because I wore so many masks. And that's another thing that I talk about as well. And so when all these kinds of things happen, you have a sense of urgency that sometimes some people don't understand, like, how do you do this or how do you do that? I don't have a choice, Tamara. I don't have I have to do it, and I have to do it to help someone else. And if we all felt like that, this world would be such a better place. It's not judging, anyone. It's not judging anyone at all. There's some people that I coach, and we go on through the program. There's other people that I've stopped and told them, I can't coach you because you don't have the fire that you need to have for yourself. I can't have more of a fire than you have for what you were put here to do. Right. So I always hope that I at least touch one person. If it's way more than that, then that's great. But even if it's just one person, then I can go whenever God calls me home. I can go and I'll be fine.
Well, you already have touched so many. I know that personally. And one of them is me. Absolutely. And many are already saying, yes, they would be interested. In fact, I'm even going to put my name in there and I want to talk. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you a moment right now I'm going to drop myself down from the line, give you a thought, so that you can leave a thought, a nugget, some kind of an inspiration, whatever it is that you're feeling on your heart right now that you want to share. I'll come back and then we'll close out the show. Okay.
Okay, great. So thank you, Tamara, for this time to be on the Service Heroes show. This has been really, really an incredible time. And all of the pictures, I wasn't even sure where you got some of them from. I know some were on Facebook, but I want to just share with you all today that you can do it. You can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Now, I'm not talking about the fact that you've had no math and science and you want to be a rocket scientist. I'm not talking about those kinds of things. What I'm talking about is you sitting with yourself. I did it for 2.5 years. When I turned age 50, I said no more to a number of things that were going on in my life. I said no more. And so I sat, and it ended up being a 2.5-year period that I did that self-reflection. I did the evaluation state that is a part of my Jumping Into Your Greatness program. And I came out with a number of things I needed to evict, a number of fears that I needed to evict, a number of fibs, things that were going on in my mind that I needed to evict. The word evict is not just like kindly taking it out. There is action. There is force related to that. Some things we need to pry out of our minds. Some things we need to pry out of our hearts and our thoughts, and even out of our words. And sometimes it's even people. So I want to just challenge you today to jump into your greatness. Jump into your greatness. There is the 3-part program that I have here. I'll be speaking at the Best You related to this topic. I would love for you to join me in August, and you can contact me about getting tickets. And also, as I mentioned earlier, related to the bully book, we all know someone who's been bullied. I personally know people who have committed suicide because of being bullied. And that is not a good feeling, to know that the people now don't have a chance to impact the world the way that they were supposed to. So I hope that you would join me in that, or even pass on the information to someone else. And if I can ever be of service to you, just let me know. Just let me know. And if I don't have the talent or the skill to do it, then I'll find someone else, because we were all meant to not settle for less. We were all meant to be above our best. Thank you so much.
I love it. Oh, yes. Yes. And you got more and more people saying, yes, I'm interested.
Oh,
you
wow.
Me today. And Mikey said the same thing. You touched me today. And Skip is saying, thank you. Great. And, you are absolutely, I have a lot of favorites, but it's like a kid, but you are definitely one of my favorites. Every time I see you, it's like, okay, I can't, it's like, okay, there she is. you know, and it just always makes me so happy when I get to spend some time with you. And I just feel like, wow, a whole hour together and sharing. I know it goes so fast. And Amanda saying same thing, you know, thank you so much. Everybody is just absolutely adoring and loving you as much as I do. And it doesn't surprise me at all. And everybody here, keep watching what Krystylle is doing, because seriously, this woman is making a difference in any and all things that she touches. You know, yeah, I was a little like, okay, all over the place, and I know her because she is all over the place. Now you guys get it. and
but it's all related to one thing. It's still all related to one thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the way it always is. You know, like with what I do, it is about the one, yet there is so much. And so, you know, it all comes together, and you are doing it. You are doing it daily. So as we close today, the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome, celebrate success through service. Yes, Krystylle, we have made the case, and everybody agrees you are a service hero. You are doing so much for so many. You inspire that smile, that energy, and the fact that we are going to jump into it with you. Yeah, jump into it. That feels great, guys, doesn't it? And being able to go out there and help in so many areas. You are doing it, you have done it, and you are going to continue doing it. And your heart has been seen today also. And it is a heart that serves in so many different dimensions. I can't even tell you. You are truly helping so many. You are raising the frequency of this world by showing up. And I am just very honored to be able to call you my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
All right, everyone. It was a wonderful Service Hero Show. And tonight is Sunday. So the buddies, it means it is game night. Yeah, we do family game night in our closed group here on Facebook. So buddies, show up at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And for those that want to be a part of it, come to Chemo Buddies, the number 4 Life, and go to the community. Ask to join. 2 things: what takes place there stays there, and it's a safe place. We are sharing humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love for those that are affected by cancer, yes, and those that are feeling the isolation and being, you know, helping to ease that pain and suffering now from the COVID situation. We've opened our doors to those people too. So come on over and play games with us tonight. Old-fashioned fun. All right, see you there. Bye, everyone.